Good morning, folks. Josh Zeppis here, freedom fighter and creator with Broke Is No Joke Enterprises. And welcome to this quick video. We're going to talk about corporate America today. Let me ask you guys a question. What if your job held secrets that were keeping you unhappy and broke at the exact same time? Would you like to know? Look, like all good pyramid schemes, the inner workings of corporate America must remain on the secretive side in order to actually work properly. Did I just call your job a pyramid scheme, your company pyramid scheme? Yes, I did. By the way, for starters, just look at the org chart and tell me what shape it's in. But anyways, that's just very superficial. But we're going to get into some really serious stuff today. Like, did you know your 401k will never retire you? And mathematically, your company cannot pay you what you're worth. Now, you may have already had inklings that this is true, but I'm here to expose some truth. That's one of my favorite things to do. Why? Because I was in the rat race. I was there, right? I was on the inside for 20 years, guys. I was an engineer for 20 years. I climbed the ladder. And by the way, I don't have some corporate America sob story for you that I got laid off and woe is me. No, I was actually successful. I did climb the ladder. I did very well. And at the end of my career, I was making multi six figures, the stock options and management incentive programs, all that fun stuff. And then one day, everything I thought was right wasn't so right. I wasn't wealthy, I wasn't happy, and I wasn't free. And really, isn't that what it comes down to, just wanting some freedom? So this week's article, or the article we're going to talk about here, is just released on our website, brokeisnojoke.org. Be sure to check out the website, by the way. There's lots of other articles, lots of information, free tools, a lot of really cool inspirational things. So go check out the website. Let us know what you think about that. But today I actually want to talk about the 9 things that corporate America won't tell you. The 9 things that corporate America doesn't want you to know. Okay? So now buckle your seatbelts. This is going to get serious, right? We're gonna have fun with it, but I'm just going to expose the truth. I'm going to let you guys know the things that I wish I knew before I started my career. And had I known, I might have made some different choices, right? So let's go ahead and expose some of the lies, expose some of the stuff. And let's have a real discussion. So we've got to put our big boy, big girl pants on, and that's okay. But like they always say, the truth will set you free. So let's get started. All right. Number one thing that corporate America doesn't want you to know. And by the way, this is not a comprehensive list. This is just a starting point, but this is an important list. So number 1, we own you and you own nothing. You know what's interesting, and I never noticed it when I was in corporate America, but now that I've been out for a number of years, how many people use the phrase, my company, my job, my career, my this, my that. We put this weird sense of ownership on it. Guess what? It's not your company. Unless you're the owner or shareholder, a significant shareholder, it's actually not your company. It's your employer. And there's a very key distinction there, right? My company implies ownership. My company implies I'm building something for me. My employer means I'm actually working to build someone else's company. I'm actually working to build someone else's wealth, someone else's success. And this, by the way, this is not a judgment. This is just something that we have to agree on, that this is truth, right? This is the way it is. So let's make sure we wrap our mindsets around this, that this is not your company unless you own it. So we own you. This is what corporate America doesn't want you to know. We own you, you own nothing. We want to let you think you they have some ownership in something, that you actually kind of own something, but just to keep you kind of a little happy and thinking you're doing, you're fighting the good fight and you're doing your work for a good cause and all that, and maybe you are, but there's really no ownership there. So that's number 1. Number 2, we fire a lot quicker than we hire. Do you remember how much effort it took to actually get that job that you have right now? Maybe you're in corporate America, maybe you're just in a very simple, quick job. But, for me, I did a lot of hiring when I was in corporate America, and it was the phone calls and the resumes and the follow-up phone calls. And then you had the in-person interview, and then we took this person, and they had to interview in like 18 different departments. And it was like, I think it was easier to get a mortgage than it was to actually get a job. So all this work, but when it came to firing, when it came to letting someone go, we would walk them out before they even knew they were being fired. It was instant. It took 2 weeks to 3 weeks or maybe even longer to hire someone, to bring someone on board, but we're going to fire you before you even know you were fired, because God forbid you should try and sabotage the company or do something weird. So don't touch your desk, walk with us to the exit, and then we're going to let you know, guess what, you're fired. But if you ever leave on your own accord, make sure you give us 2 weeks, right? Isn't that interesting? If we fire you, you're gone instantly, instantly, even before you know it. But if you're going to leave, you better give us 2 weeks so we can give you a good referral to your next your next job, your next boss. Number 3, you're renting an income. This is a tough one for some folks. You're just renting an income. You are an independent contractor. Yeah, we have you on W-2. We're throwing you a few benefits, which, by the way, are being reduced every day. But in reality, you're just in a rental, right? You have no ownership in your job, more than likely. Outside of being the owner, you have no ownership. So you're just renting an income. And when it's time to right size, downsize, insize, outsize, oversize, riff, there's all kinds of great words for this. But when it's time to do that, bye-bye. And if you do a good job, you get to come back next week. You get to, that's how you pay your rent. So you do a good job, you get to keep your job. Isn't that interesting? If you do a really good job, your reward is you get to keep your job. By the way, rent is due. Come on, get back to work. I'm just kidding. All right. Number 4 thing that corporate America doesn't want you to know and is not going to tell you, and they're definitely not going to tell you this one, so pay attention. It's not illegal to share your salary. Oh, they'll tell you that. Oh, there might be company policy and this and that. But the National Labor Relations Act actually states that we cannot ban the discussion of salary and working conditions among employees, right? So it's not illegal to share your salary. We don't want you to share your salary, because if you find out we just hired a 25-year-old and paid him half as much, right, or twice as much maybe coming out of college, who knows, right, to do the same job you're doing, then you might get a little upset that some of these newer folks coming out of college are getting paid more than you, even though you've been with the company for 10, 15, 20 years. So we don't want anyone to talk about it. So we're going to put a policy in place, but really you're allowed to talk about your salary. You're allowed to discuss it. And why not, right? All right, number 5 thing that corporate America doesn't want you to find out or doesn't want you to know, and this is a very interesting one for me because I saw this one firsthand. We can't actually pay you what you're worth. Think about it. So mathematically, we cannot pay you what you're worth. And let me prove this to you. If you're bringing $200,000 a year into the company, your value is bringing $200,000 a year of revenue into the company, I can't pay you $200,000. In fact, I can't even pay you anything close to that, because if I pay you $200,000 and you're bringing in $200,000, what's the profit to the company? It's nothing, right? Again, this is not a judgment. This is just how companies work. Companies have to make a profit or they go out of business. But if you're bringing in $200,000, I can't pay you $200,000. In fact, I'm going to pay you probably about an eighth to a tenth of that. So I'm going to pay you maybe $30,000 a year, and your value is $200,000. I got to pay the light bill. I got to pay upper management. I got to do bonuses for the higher ups. There's lots of things I have to spend money on, but you sure as heck ain't going to get paid what you're worth. But I might give you a gift card. So play your cards right. All right, be nice to me. All right, number 6, loyalty is a one-way street. All right, hey, work starts at 8:30 a.m. sharp, right? Why? Just a test of loyalty. Nothing to do with actually getting work done. I just want to see that you show up, right? It's my little power trip to make sure you show up. So if we add enough hoops to your job, we make you do enough things, we figure that's enough stress, that you realize that you need us more than we need you, right? So, but it's a one-way street. So don't expect that same loyalty in return. I mean, we may throw you a bone, we may throw you some, gift card here and there, but we're not going to show the same loyalty to you. In fact, ask yourself this question in your job right now, and just give it some thought. Let it rattle around a little bit. Does your employer have as much loyalty to you as you have to them? Right? That's a tough question. Do they really? Think about all the ball games you miss with your kids, think about all the traffic you sit in just to get to your job on time, right? Nothing to do with results, just be there at a certain time. And think of all the sacrifices you give to your job, to your career, and think about the loyalty you get in return. How fast will your company lay you off if need be? So, anyways, number seven thing that they don't want you to know is necessary doesn't mean important. Just because you provide a necessary function in our company doesn't mean you're really that important. We can always find someone else. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Oh, they need me. I'm really important. I've been here a lot of years. Trust me, you are replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. So, and by the way, in a choice between paying the light bill and paying your salary, what do you think we choose? You got it right. Got to keep the lights on. So, necessary definitely does not mean important. All right, number 8 is going to piss a lot of people off. This is one of the biggest shocks that most people ever hear, and I get to deliver this message quite often in my other businesses, but I'm going to give you just a very, very brief version of it. The 401k that you may or may not have, hopefully you have one, is not for your benefit. I know, you were told it was a retirement plan. By the way, 401k never started as a retirement plan. It's not designed to be a retirement plan. It was never supposed to be a retirement plan. And if you don't believe me, please go look up a guy named Ted Benna, who was the grandfather of the 401k, founded the tax code. And he hates what it's become. He says he created a monster. So go look him up. But the 401k is not for your benefit, by the way. It's for my tax deduction as your employer. So it looks like I'm doing it for you, and I sell it that way. But really, it's about my tax deduction today, and in case you didn't know, it's going to be your tax liability tomorrow because you're going to have to pay all those taxes that I didn't pay today. And then on top of that, there's a whole host of other reasons why you probably want to do some research on your 401k and learn more about it, and make sure you have a garbage pail right next to you for when you become sick. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say on that for this video, but you want to learn more about that, you just reach out to me. Happy to share. And the last thing that corporate America really doesn't want you to know, and your boss sure as heck doesn't want you to know, your boss is an employee too. So sometimes in our self-pity, we think we're going through these special struggles, but outside of those in the C-level suites, your boss really doesn't have it made. They're an employee also. They're struggling. They're being underpaid. They're being underappreciated. They're being overworked. They've got ridiculous amounts of stress, and they're not making that much more than you on top of all that. So just keep that in mind. But hey, here's the good news. If you play your cards right, you might actually graduate into your boss's position. All right? Here, one little piece of advice, and this isn't actually part of the article, but something very important. I always ask people, I say, interview your future. Interview your future. For example, go to work tomorrow, or even today if you're watching this at work, God bless you, and ask your boss, say, hey boss, how successful are you? How nice is your life? How great is everything in your part of the world, right? And see what they say. See if they really are as successful and happy and fulfilled, and they just love everything they do, and they're getting paid way too much money. Just ask them that. Because here's the thing. Like I said, if you play your cards right in the next 5 to 10 years, you might actually get to graduate into that. And the question is that what you really want? When you talk to your boss, figure out if that's the future that you want. And if it's not, maybe it's time to change now. So look, I'm no way implying that corporate America is bad or the devil or evil. It's definitely a tool that could be used to gain valuable experience and get cut your teeth on some new concepts and some new industries. But if you think that's going to be the end-all be-all and you're going to retire there and everything's going to be happy-go-lucky for the rest of your life, I encourage you to do more research. I encourage you to actually look at the facts, look at the truth. So I want to know, do you agree with us about corporate America? Did any of these things I said surprise you? And do you have a story you'd like to share about an experience or a friend that has had some of these experiences? And please share. So go to our website, brokeisnojoke.org. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic. Email me directly, josh@brokeisnojoke.org. And follow us on social media, of course, and which is @brokeisnojoke. And let us know what you think. Really, I really do want some feedback. I want to know what you guys are thinking about out there, what you're stressing about. Because believe it or not, we have a lot of really cool tools. We have a lot of really good concepts, and we have some really big things coming up that's going to help you escape the rat race. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now, but be sure to check out the site because you're going to learn a lot more. And like I always say, you only have one life to live, but if you do it right, this should be all you need. Take care. God bless. I'm going to meet you at the top because the bottom, guys, as you know, is just way too crowded. Take care. Bye-bye.